They were warrior monks, healers and rulers. These are the Knights Hospitaller. Their story began not with battles, but with charity. In the 11th century, Christian pilgrims journeyed to the Holy Land. The roads were dangerous, and many fell ill along the way. In Jerusalem, a hospice was built to care for them. It was run by a group of monks devoted to healing the sick. They became known as the Order of St. John. When the Crusades erupted, their mission changed. The hospice monks took up arms. They became protectors as well as healers. A unique brotherhood of warrior monks was born. They swore vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. But unlike most monks, they carried both a cross and a sword. At first, they were overshadowed by the famous Knights Templar. The Templars were wealthy, powerful, and surrounded by mystery, but the Hospitallers focused on their hospitals and their naval strength. Over time, the rivalry grew intense. But were the true defenders of Christendom? Was it the bankers of the Temple? Or the healers of St. John? This rivalry ended abruptly when the Templars were accused of heresy and destroyed in 1312. Many whispered that their wealth and secrets flowed quietly into the hands of the Hospitallers. By then the Crusader states in the Holy Land were collapsing. The order needed a new home. Their eyes turned to Rhodes, a strategic island in the Aegean Sea. In 1309, after a bitter struggle, they captured Rhodes from Byzantine control. It became their new headquarters. From here, the Knights Hospitaller built a fortress state unlike any other. They fortified the island with massive walls and bastions. They constructed hospitals, palaces, and churches. The streets of Rhodes were transformed into a medieval stronghold. Even today, the old town of Rhodes is one of the best preserved medieval cities in Europe. But Rhodes was more than just a fortress. It was a naval base. The knights built powerful fleets of galleys. From Rhodes, they patrolled the seas, protecting Christian ships from pirates and Ottoman raiders. Their cross-emblazoned sails became a feared sight across the Mediterranean. Life on Rhodes was a strange mix of monastic devotion and military discipline. The order ran hospitals that cared for locals as well as pilgrims. Training yards echoed with the clash of steel. The Grand Master ruled like a prince, presiding over councils and negotiations. Merchants from across Europe and the Middle East passed through its harbors. Rhodes was not only a fortress, it was a crossroads of civilizations. The order also ruled as sovereigns. They minted coins, signed treaties, and governed the island. The Grand Master of the Hospitallers wielded authority equal to that of kings, but with power came enemies. The growing Ottoman Empire set its sights on Rhodes. In 1480, Sultan Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, launched a massive siege. Thousands of Ottoman soldiers surrounded the city. The walls shook under cannon fire, but the Hospitallers resisted fiercely. Against all odds, they repelled the invasion. For a time, Rhodes remained unconquered, but the Ottomans were relentless. In 1522, Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent returned with an overwhelming force. An army of perhaps 100,000 surrounded the island. Inside the walls, only a few thousand knights and townspeople prepared for the fight of their lives. The siege lasted 6 months. The city was bombarded day and night. The defenders fought with courage, patching walls as soon as they fell. Civilians carried water, tended the wounded, and shared in the hardship. Every street became part of the battleground. Starvation and exhaustion tore through the defenders, but still they held on, long after survival seemed impossible. At last, the Hospitallers were forced to surrender. But this was no ordinary defeat. Unlike many conquests of the time, Suleiman admired their bravery. He allowed the surviving knights safe passage. The citizens were spared massacre, and the knights sailed away with honor intact. They left behind Rhodes, the island they had ruled for more than 200 years. Their exile was long and uncertain. For years they wandered across Europe, searching for a new home. Some doubted the order would survive, but eventually they found sanctuary on the island of Malta. There they reinvented themselves once again. However, peace for the knights was hard to find. In 1565, they stood against another Ottoman siege, but this time, the knights triumphed. Today, the Hospitallers still exist, not as warriors, but as a humanitarian order. They run hospitals, clinics, and charities around the world. Their full name is the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, but in Rhodes, their legacy is carved into every stone wall. The Palace of the Grand Master, the Street of the Knights, the fortified harbor, all bear their mark. Tourists today walk the same streets where armored monks once patrolled. Even now, legends still swirl around the Hospitallers. Some believe they inherited the Templars' secrets when that order was destroyed. Others whisper of lost treasure hidden in their strongholds. Some even suggest they once protected holy relics, perhaps the Holy Grail itself. No one knows for sure. But fact or myth, the Knights Hospitaller left a story of resilience, faith, and endurance. From humble hospice monks, they rose to become rulers of an island kingdom. They stood against empires, survived exile, and adapted through centuries. The island of Rhodes remains their greatest monument. A fortress city built by warrior monks. A reminder of the thin line between myth and history. What do you think? Were the Knights Hospitaller guardians of secret knowledge or simply warriors of their age? Let us know in the comments. Always remember, knowledge doesn't stop at 60 seconds.
Thanks for watching. This is 60-second knowledge now extended, because curiosity doesn't stop at 60 seconds. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on TikTok.